Hello.
This is my favorite cold open, maybe of all time. Maybe of all time. I love him so much. Welcome into his ATB show at the buzzer. You've got Uncle Dukes in beautiful downtown Maine. Rubber Shoes serving the constituents of beautiful downtown LA, the Lowell area. We think he just broke his chair, maybe his ass. Although ladder 2, Lowell checking in. This is like an early Christmas gift. We have the Alex Miniak of Padres baseball fame, of MLB The Show. Now a call's coming in. I think they might be sending his ladder to go pick him up. And I'm in beautiful downtown Portsmouth, so we're going to hit a lot of baseball this week. We're brought to you by our dear friends Joe and Leslie and the whole crew over at AAA Work Trucks. Rubber Shoes is continuing to cobble his life together. We might have to have Alex back. I have to find out what's happening. Rubber Shoes, are you okay?
Yeah, I am now.
Dude, if
that hurt.
If did the chair break?
Well, it's already broken, and it just freaking flipped over on me.
You left the screen, and I don't know what I was talking about, but you just disappeared. You evaporated.
Yep.
And Alex and Uncle Dukes are just like, whoa. And I heard the band, and then you get up and you said, like, there was no check-in. Then we just heard your station just got a call. I'm like, they might be getting sent upstairs to get you on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Are you good? Did you break a rib?
No, it was
I'm sweating.
Right on my back. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Little shock set in.
You know, we got to raise taxes in that town to get him a new chair.
Yeah, we got to get you a new chair.
No, we pay for our own stuff in these rooms.
Oh,
so
man.
was that your chair?
Someone got that donated.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it sounds like me, right?
There you go. You get what you pay for.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
Oh, yep. Now they're sending now they're sending the sirens. Now the sirens are coming. Yeah. All right. We're back at it. Rubber Shoes. Rubber Shoes. You might have to take a couple plays off. Are you okay? We good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Now. He's back, which is fantastic. All right. So all hanging out. We've got Corey and Adam stuck in hair and makeup this week. We're certainly going to get to baseball because we have much to discuss. Losing to Italy, not fantastic. Alex made the comment before we started the show that it's really a whole bunch of MLB guys playing for Team Italy. It's like the Olympics all over again, but we'll get to World Baseball Classic. We will get to your Padre predictions, maybe your Red Sox predictions, talk a little bit about the game that you are the voice of, MLB The Show. And but before that, let's talk about, do we want to go to basketball first since I have my NBA insiders here? Let's talk about Jalen and Jason, the return, how it's going, the ejection last night. Do you think that was somebody grandstanding where the ref came across the floor? Talk to me about last night, Scotty.
What an asshole. There was absolutely, I was so mad last night. He played 15 minutes. It's a national broadcast game, right? NBC,
right.
You know,
right.
You know,
what is that song called? John Tesh. What is it called?
John Tesh.
Round Ball Rock.
Yeah, Round Ball Rock. Thank you. Round Ball Rock. Yes.
Hi, everybody. That was Round Ball Rock by John the Tesh.
John the Tesh. Oh, my God. I think Rubber Shoes is on WebMD, making sure he's still alive. Are we good? You good, dude?
Yeah,
you look great.
I know.
You look great.
Shocks set in. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you're in the right place. Go ahead, Scotty.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We want to make sure, you know, Billy's going to be upright.
Yeah, no, I'm sweating.
I mean, you're Irish. Like we are both Dunder Mifflin white, but you've got a shade of gray going right now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Shocks set
you want to
in,
go get a Yoo-hoo and a Twinkie or something? Get your blood sugar up?
No.
All right.
I don't eat that stuff.
I know. Do you want to go to steak and eggs and a water? He's leaving again. All right.
Oh my God.
I'm just grabbing my water.
Okay.
Good show.
All right.
Great program.
This is our first episode. This is episode 249. It's our first medical. We're very excited. Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, it was absolutely just a horrible this is a lot of the issue that's wrong with the NBA right now, especially when it comes to like viewership and stuff, and then they wonder why numbers are down.
Mm.
Marquee game on NBC. You have two of the best teams in basketball right now with San Antonio and Boston. And just back in January, Jaylen Brown was fined like $35,000 right after the Spurs game because the Celtics shot all 4 free throws, right? And then they miss a blatant push, where Brown turns the ball over, but he got pushed. And look, he was frustrated. He has every right to be frustrated with that non-call, and he's going to the crew chief to have that conversation and debate. And he deserved the technical, and I thought that was fine. And just he was pissed. He was frustrated. There was no other reason for that other ref to come over and make that call to toss him out of the game. It was completely out of left field. It ruins, again, the audience experience, especially. I think of it like when you had, as much as these guys drove me nuts, like the Joey Crawfords and the Javies and all these guys from back in the day,
Right.
that, they would understand what was happening. They would get like, oh yeah, by the way, this is national stuff. You're not going to toss him, 50, 20, whatever minutes into the game. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, especially the fact, not only is it two big time teams on national television, but it's also MVP candidates, two top three MVP candidates in Brown and Wemby going at it again on national TV. So the whole thing was just ridiculous. I think it stems from, maybe a little bit of the San Antonio carryover in January, possibly. And the fact that he went like, maybe that was in the back of the ref's mind because he went off on the refs, which isn't the first time. But yeah, it was just an absolute ref totally misreading everything and just making the game about himself instead of, the actual game itself.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating because he was off the play, right? Like he came in,
Yeah.
he wasn't even. It wasn't the ref that teed him up was sort of letting him get it out of his system,
Right.
and then
And he was the crew chief,
the other
and,
ref
like,
comes in and white knighted it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like you get your other refs back. I get that, but at the same time, he's handling it. It's the head official of your crew. You know what I mean? Like, he's got it. He can handle this. He doesn't need you to come in and, to your point, to be white knight or whatever. Yeah. Honestly, the game wasn't a bad game. I think they lost by what, 8,
15?
I think 116,
was it?
125 or something.
Oh, okay.
And, it was tied at halftime. They had a 7-point lead going in the fourth, and it was kind of back and forth. But yeah, it was disappointing. And, it's something that Brown will have to keep an eye on, especially as the playoffs get going. There are going to be people like refs that are looking to because he's been more vocal this year, and maybe because the spotlight's been on him all season long. And like I said, he is an MVP candidate, but he's been more vocal about the officiating this year because he gets on his social media and his stream and stuff and he talks about it. He has no qualms about talking about the officiating.
Yeah.
So I think it's something to keep an eye on, though, when postseason comes around, because we can't afford to have him getting booted out of Game 6, in the Eastern Conference Finals with 15 minutes in. So it'll be something that I'm sure Missoula will talk to him maybe a little bit about, but Missoula also had his back too and came out and said that he had no problems with what Brown did. So in regards to his reaction, I should say.
Yeah. And question for all three of you, on a scale of 1 to LeBron, what level of flop do you think he plays his game at?
Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, I think he's not. I'm saying he's not usually argumentative where he's fighting for the foul that he.
Yeah, I can't see it. Like, that's just when I'm thinking about this, I'm trying to picture the situation. I did not see the game last night. I was at a meeting, but yeah, I don't. Based on what you're talking about, Scotty, to me the character doesn't fit the crime or the punishment, really.
Right.
So, but
yeah.
Well, he did embellish a little on that call last night because it wasn't that bad of a push. He had his hand on his back. It was a foul, but he lost his shit, and I think he went way overboard and deserved to get after the first technical. They're like, okay, you said your piece, tee him up that first time, and he just kept going, and he kept trying to rip through people, trying to get over to him, and it's like, turn around, go back to the bench, and he just kept going and going. And I after the first one and he kept going, I knew he was going to get a second one, and sure enough, he did, and got thrown out. And you got to be smarter than that, especially if you're, he's the captain of the team this year. Tatum's just coming back. You're the man. You got to be better than that for your team.
My question is, do you think Billy would have felt differently than that before he hit his head? Is this like a post-traumatic
I didn't hit my head.
response?
Cut my head.
Okay.
It was all on my
back.
We
don't know. We need a trail cam in your room so we could have seen the whole accident.
You didn't have
it.
I just everything fell with me, so I don't.
Kid, I'm telling you, I've never been so upset that I hadn't started the show earlier.
Oh,
I got to get better with just as soon as everybody arrives, I'm just going to hit go so we can get more of that, cold open stuff. But you were down for the count. It would have been 7 minutes.
Oh yeah.
The old saying, like, fell like a sack of potatoes. It was literal. Like, it was just like, I saw you in the frame and then you came crumbling straight down. Like, that was it. Gone. Like, just
I'm gonna feel it tomorrow. That's for sure. The bar of the chair right in the middle of my back.
Oh, wow. That's better than some other places. I could tell you that.
Delicious.
And then the table fell over on me too. So.
The table came down too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I wish we had a better angle. Shit. We're in a book too. Amazing. We're in a book. We could have used the ratings. Oh my God. I knew Alex would enjoy that. That was for Alex and Scotty. We're in a book. Oh my goodness. Anything else on the Celtics we want to touch on that we're excited about or concerned about? I mean, obviously, let's talk about JT and his comeback. I mean, he interesting. It's almost like the start of his first game back was reminiscent of what the Patriots did on their opening drive all season. Like the Patriots started every game offensively like they had just discovered fire, and then they would figure it out. And I feel like he went quite a ways before he dropped a bucket on that first game back, if I remember correctly. And now he just seems to be, and I don't want to say this out loud, somebody knock on wood, like he's flowing now. It's like he's good.
Well, I got to imagine too, when you have an injury like that, you're going to want to test it, right? You're not entirely trusting it yet, and you get out there, you get a little time, you start feeling it, you're like, okay, I can push it, okay, and then your game comes back. So I'm surprised as any that I thought maybe playoffs if he was lucky, but March, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, honestly, these two were talking. You guys were all saying other side of the break, probably March. And I know, Scotty practices a greater amount of load management than most NBA players, though you ruptured your Achilles. Like, do you still feel like golfing, getting out of bed, playing basketball with your boys? You just like, is it going to snap again? Like that has to be, you have to be tentative. Or is it now you're so past the injury, you're not worried about it?
No, it's definitely in the back of my mind during like certain activities, not golf or anything like that. Like that's only on like really cold days where I like legit feel it. But yeah, shooting hoops and like running and stuff like that too, or doing a lot more stretching before doing all of that stuff. But it's definitely there, and I'm clearly not a professional athlete. Clearly, so to me, seeing what he's been able to do since his return, and I know he was scrimmaging and playing 5-on-5 for the few weeks before he actually came back to the league. But he looks great. I think he looks really, he's getting in the flow. The other thing is too is he's been looking. I will say, and it's somewhat to a detriment at times, he's looking to pass and move the ball. Mm-hmm. He's not looking for a shot nearly as much. I don't know if that's just him getting back into the flow of with the team, or if it's, him not being fully, to like Alex's point. Now, is it there? Am I explosive? And I mean, his first dunk attempt, he got stuffed by the rim. So, that wasn't a good look. But, obviously then you have the tip dunk and everything, and he's looked good since. But I think it's just going to take a little time, but he's looked great. I'm really happy to have him back and make some enormous difference for the Celtics in the playoffs.
I will say too, pace of the game is a huge thing. You're going from 0 to NBA pace, without doing any of that in 9 months. Like, I work a lot of basketball and I see, I've worked Division II. I've worked lower level Division I. I've worked ranked matchups. I've worked G League. I've worked NBA. And the amount of speed is, it's 20 miles an hour to 120 miles an hour. And he has to go all the way up, day one. And I know you've been doing it for a long time, and you're a professional athlete. You got a max contract for a reason because you're really good at it. But still, that's going to be an adjustment, especially coming off an injury.
It's such a good point because everybody's like, well, he's been doing simulation. He's been working.
Still not a game.
Back to this. It's still not a game where no matter how much they're elbowing you and all the stuff you're doing in practice and sparring with your teammates. It's not going to be the intensity when you're out there against people that are fighting for the Eastern Conference and genuinely don't like you and want to step on your face and would love to see your ankle explode again. And then just all the mental wrapped around that, all the prep. It's a whole nother layer, and he's handled it really well. And the fact that he's come back this quickly, got to credit his doctors, how much medicine has evolved. And I just think his commitment to being healthy, because so much of it is the work that he put in. And him mentally because you could be physically ready, but then to my point in asking the question about, Scotty and anybody who's had an explosion like that in their ankle, you're like, I don't want to rush back. And he's been clawing his way back, which is fantastic. Now they are ultimately, like you said, Scotty, the game, last night's game is pretty much, that could be the end of the season. That's probably what we're looking at. A lot of people feel like that's the case. They are now turning into everybody's pick for the Eastern Conference, which is pretty awesome. Also horrifying because I feel like
wasn't this supposed to be a tank year, and then
yes.
Be like a gap year,
exactly. The gap year, yes, interesting.
Well, you know what? I love playing with house money. If the Celtics are playing with house money, the Patriots played with house money. You got no expectations, right? And then it's a lot more fun when you're playing without expectations. So I say ride it all the way and enjoy that gravy train. That's what I say.
It's gonna be pretty fun. I just want to get Rubber Shoes going now that he's cleared his head. There is a constant conversation that Missoula is up for Coach of the Year if they stay at this clip. I want to hear Alex. I want to hear Rubber Shoes. I want to hear Scotty on this.
He's changed. They play differently now than they did when they first started the season.
He definitely fucking hit his head. Go ahead though. Finish
up, chucking up threes. Although they were starting out Friday night when JT came back, just chucking up threes. But
it's Philip Seymour Hoffman and along came Holly.
Yeah, dance. I was like, what the hell? They have it seems like they have a lapse every once in a while. It's like they start chucking them up without even trying to go inside. But I mean, overall, Jalen takes the ball inside when he has to. That's the biggest thing is when the other team's going on a run, he'll stop the run by taking it to the hole. Where last couple of years, it's like they just kept throwing up threes, and it's like the other team just went on a 20-point run. You might want to try and do something here.
Yeah.
I mean, they still average the most 3-pointers a game in the NBA, but yes, they've done. I think Missoula's done. I think his rotations, especially, which at the beginning of the year I was kind of questioning at first, but his rotations and his subs and how he's incorporated and brought the best out of Shireman. I can't Shireman. It's been a long day. I mean, I haven't fallen on my ass, but it's been a long day.
Listen, only one of us has had an accident
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's done an amazing job. Super happy for him. He's getting that recognition, and he's definitely deserving of it. Because I think to Alex's point earlier, right? This was a rebuild year. This is a gap year. Yeah, it hasn't been at all, and they've been in, pretty much, right at the top of the mid to top of the Eastern Conference almost the entire season. So
The key word there is adjustment, right? He didn't have the same roster as last year, and he didn't play the same game as last year to start the year. Now you got pieces, you can start playing your old game again, whether you love it or hate it. But so many coaches just try to force the same system without the players who can execute it, and this happens at all sports at all levels. Yeah. The fact that he was able to adjust and be successful, and again play with that house money and beat expectations. The East was up for grabs the entire season, and he found a way to seize it and be, first, second, or third the whole time. I think the adjustments go a long way in that, because he did not have the pieces he had last year and wasn't able to play the same game. I'm not a big fan of hucking threes and shooting 18% to win playoff games either, but he did make the necessary adjustments, and he did win a title. So, hey, bravo.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible.
Is Brad Stevens like the fucking man or what? Like all those guys he got rid of, like Porzingis has played one game. Drew Holiday's been out a bunch on injury this year. Like I think the only person that he didn't bring back that's actually contributing is Cornette. I think the rest of the guys that he let go, it's like wow, did he know something, or he got rid of all that money
Belichick,
in there?
Yeah, Belichick, let him go a year early, see what happens.
Yeah,
it's that, and also like drafting Gonzalez. You obviously Horford left as well, and they went really young, and yet I think a lot of us saw what they had in Keita, but not to this degree. Like Keita has been unbelievable. Picking up Garza obviously has been huge, so it's I think it's.
And you got G League guys contributing. Like Shireman comes from the G League. He's a Maine Celtic or Red Claw or whatever they call him these days.
No, it's the Maine Celtics, but it's still the Red Claw logo.
I know. I should know.
Weird.
I work G League. See back there.
Oh my God, the Winter Showcase. I love that.
Over the last 2 weeks, I've questioned myself thinking this, but
is this the right chair? Sorry, go ahead.
I really think they're a better team this year than they were last year.
And maybe because of that, because they've had to do things a different way, and
especially since they got rid of Simons.
If you don't have the same pieces, you got to do something a different way. And I'm all for it. Again, house money, let's go.
I think since they traded Simons, I think they have the best points against defense in the league since they traded him.
And touching back to Brad real quick, I remember when the transition was happening, Brad was going up to the GM office, and, Missoula was a question mark because he was a question mark. We probably didn't talk about it a lot. I certainly wasn't alone in thinking, like, is that where we should be moving him to? Like, is he a GM? Like, he's found his sweet spot. He really has. Like, I think he's great overseeing the chessboard, and he has made some very Belichickian moves, like, oh, that guy's going to be out of juice in 20 minutes. And he cuts it off ahead of time, which is pretty incredible. Moving on, we're going to go to the NFL because we're going to wrap up with baseball, and we have a lot of baseball to talk about. Can we talk about the fact that Max Crosby is not moving now? So we talked a little bit before we came on the air. I want to hear Scotty's thoughts about a wide receiver that we acquired. Do you think that is this makes it okay if we don't get A.J. Brown, getting Romeo Doubs? And then do we still think that we're actually in the running for a Max Crosby? Or does the perceived injury that made the Ravens run in the wrong direction eradicate that for us?
First question, I do like Romeo Doubs. I like the picking him up. If it really, for me, it's that. To me, the biggest part is like how much is Philadelphia asking for AJ Brown? Like, if it's still like 2 number ones and a 2, no, I'm sorry, I don't do that for him. And I think that's probably where, or at least I have a feeling that's where Vrabes and the Pats were at. They didn't want to give up that much. I definitely think they'd love to have him, but I think they're Philadelphia is just asking way too much for him. So I'm okay with if they don't end up getting AJ Brown. It's not the end of the world. Crosby, I'd definitely be weary, Baltimore isn't like the most well organized and thought out franchise in the NFL history, if you look back. So the fact that they were like, I think we're going to back away. Maybe there's some like more danger Will Robinson flags there that's happening. So I would be surprised if they ended up going after Crosby or making that trade, especially for
unless
a couple of number ones.
Unless they can use this back out as leverage to get him.
They signed Trey Hendrickson.
No, not the Ravens. I mean the Patriots.
He's talking about
the Patriots.
Yeah. I still don't. I don't think it's probably happening.
I know they're looking at like the edge position as a whole, right? They signed Jones. They let Anthony Jennings walk today, right? So they're Chase On's gone as well. He just signed with Washington. So their edge rushing is a little bit kind of up in the air right now. They're still trying to figure out what they want to do there. So I'd be surprised if they got into the Crosby sweepstakes. I don't see them doing that. At least not right now. I could also see them like sticking with, going into the draft and trying to find somebody there that could help them. But I don't see the Crosby thing with New England. I'd be surprised.
Well, Brady won't trade him to him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, do we think that's what that was? You think that was a block?
I believe it came out that.
Oh, it came out
Brady
that it was a
said
block.
that
okay.
Sources were saying that Brady was like, absolutely not. We're not trading him to New England.
Interesting. So, Alex, I have to ask you because obviously we know that your Buccaneers, your creamsicles are your number one.
Well, I stopped paying attention after Brady left.
I wasn't trying to insult you. I was just speaking to your childhood.
It's an insult these days.
So there's and obviously yes, you're very involved with baseball, but like from a football standpoint, because you spent time here in New England, obviously your Chargers are now Los Angeles, which is disgusting.
They're not mine either. I don't.
You don't care there. So when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are out, do you have anybody that you're rooting for?
Oh, I root for the Patriots all the time. I've got more Patriot stuff than I have Buck stuff. I got rid of the Buck stuff a long time ago.
Oh my God! Don't you have the Leon Selman creamsicle though?
We'll have that as Leroy. Okay. Yes.
Leroy. Leroy. What? I got the last name right. They're not my.
Well, get your Hall of Famers right.
I'm just trying to stay on this goddamn chair through the segment. All right. Anyway,
hold on to your armrests.
Yeah,
and as far as the Patriots are concerned and wide receivers, I mean, you let Diggs go. I mean, for one thing, the Patriots are number one receiver averse. The last true number one wide receiver that the Patriots had was Randy Moss. Okay, before that it was Troy Brown. Everybody else was a slot guy or a tight end or a basic number 3 who was playing in a number 2 spot. That is it. So I don't know what the curse is in New England in trying to find a true number 1 receiver, but they just can't do it. Can't do it. And yeah, if I'm the Eagles and I've got AJ Brown and I know this team is desperate to get a number 1, heck yeah, I'm definitely sitting on these cards and I'm waiting for them to pay because why wouldn't you? They're gonna be desperate enough to get him. Romeo Doubs is a 5th choice. Okay, that guy's a number 2. Again, it's another number 3 acting like a number 2. It fits the mold of every other Patriot receiver who's played on the outside. And I don't know. It's frustrating to watch because imagine if Brady had a true number 1 receiver. Here he did amazing things, but imagine if he had a Randy Moss caliber guy for his entire career. You know what I mean?
After watching what he did in 2007, yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I can't, it's a more of a testament to what he did and what he was able to do and all he was able to accomplish without any of those tools around him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And then I always do the comparison when people are like, when people talk like the Peyton Manning thing and like him and Manning or whatever, and like Manning had Harrison, Reggie Wayne, like that was Clark. Like he had weapons upon weapons upon weapons. Meanwhile, we're playing with David Patton, Antoine Smith, and no offense.
Who am I thinking of? Who was the guy with the big crazy eyes? I think he was University of Florida, wasn't he?
Chad Johnson?
No, keep going.
No.
Might not have been UF. Big eyes. Rochelle Caldwell. Yes, Caldwell.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was Gator.
Yeah, thank you. He always looked like he walked in on you sleeping with his mother. He's like he said, 4,000%. Mama, what are you doing? Yeah, we've never excelled there. I felt like when Diggs obviously was a myriad of reasons. I think he's obviously going to have challenges. Thank God Christian Barmore, that all got waived. Like Diggs was, I thought Diggs even before the stuff happened, I thought from a financial standpoint the Patriots would part ways, and I've always felt like the AJ Brown thing was absolutely a pipe dream. Like I'd be shocked if he ends up here. I think they just want too much. And I know the Patriots want to have all their draft picks and build through the draft. I don't know who in the draft that we would get picking at 31. I don't think we're going to
right. And then how many drafted wide receivers have panned out in Patriots history? Mm-hmm. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I was watching one of the shows today, and they're saying that it's going to be wait and see who bites first, because the Eagles kind of need to get rid of him, because I guess the cap hit he has like coming is really high, and they kind of need to get rid of him. I think they're playing tough guy right now, but come the next month or two, right before training camp, they might take a little less. So you could see this hash out, in June.
And I wonder how many miles AJ Brown has on him at this point too. Like it can't, what does the team get out of him? He's taking a beating.
He's $24 million on the cap. That's the hit.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
You also think like things happen obviously on draft day, right? And during I think actually when he got traded to the Eagles was on draft day. So to Billy's point too, it's like how long are they going to wait, and do they wait and Pats wait till draft day to actually make a trade or not? But yeah, I think they're still looking. I still think there are, and I know that they're not picking until 31 or whatever it is, but we've talked about it for the last year or so. There are still other holes on this team, and I still they want to Elliott Wolf and those guys. They want to build it within the draft. There are still holes. They're still young, and there's still holes to fill. So I think they're going to continue to try to do that. So I feel like they are holding, clutching those, picks, even though it is later in the first round, but in second round or whatever. But yeah, I think that's something they're trying to hold on to.
Right now, Booties are one, right? Would you say?
I would say Dobbs.
I'd say
that's
Dobbs
terrible.
Does he turn into he turns into the one you think? Okay. I just don't. I feel like Booty's definitely more of a long yard. He's definitely more yards after catch, and just long. He's got more yardage collectively. I feel like Dobbs is always the guy he's running that the little post route, 10 yards in, 17 yards in. Like, no,
I just remember how many years and seasons that I'm perpetually disappointed every time I pick up Romeo Dobbs on my fantasy team, and I keep him for a week or two, and I learn my lesson, and I waive him again.
Oh, that's funny. I'm looking up.
I will say every time he makes a catch and gets, I'm just going to pray he gets up. That's my biggest concern with Romeo Dobbs. Just get up. Please get up. Please get up. But yeah, it's Booty, Dobbs, Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, Chisholm and Kyle Williams are your wide receiver right now.
I don't even know who.
In 2025, Kayshon Booty had 589 yards, 43 catches, 3 TDs. Romeo Dobbs, 724, 55, 6 TDs. I am wrong on all fronts. No research, Alex. Never do any research. It's against the show. It's really
about perception anyway. I mean, passion from sports doesn't come from reality and numbers. It comes from ill-conceived ideas and falsities is what it comes from.
And alcohol.
Listen, if you were here for the Super Bowl prediction show, I had Pop Douglas as my MVP. So I have made a million outlandish guesses when it comes to it's Nostradamus for life over here. Oh my goodness.
Booty's average per catch in his career is 14.9, and Dobbs is 12.
There, he does have more yards.
All right, that sounds like your trips package. There
I did okay.
Go. Congratulations.
I did okay.
Yeah,
incredible. Alex has a very tight schedule, so we have to get him off to his next event. in due time. So we do want to get into baseball. We got the World Baseball Classic. We need to hear your thoughts on the Boston Red Sox. Of course, your Padres. I'm going to force you to read the lineup front to back because I want to hear all the trills and all the R's. And of course, MLB The Show. I've lost count. I will never forget. We were getting together in Vegas. And you're like, hey, I'm going to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody yet. And I'm like, what? I couldn't imagine. I'm like, you're pregnant, and I'm not the mother. Like, I didn't know what you were about to tell me.
I had pink eye that trip, though. I did.
Pink. Well, you got that from Dugan. That wasn't me. We all had our own room. We
did.
And you were like, so I'm going to be working with MLB The Show. And I was like, what? Because we are all video game dorks. And if you were a huge fan of video games back in the day when MLB The Show was exclusive, it was a Sony Sports only thing. I will tell you, I only had the PS4 and the PS5, still have them both, for that game. And now it's, of course, across all consoles, which helps you, of course, gets your name out there more. Talk to us about that experience. Like, I know, obviously, you have to go in and I've asked you this before, but help my ignorance. Do you reword the whole game? Like, do you spend all winter rewording the whole game, or do they have enough work parts that they just have you read the new stuff?
Mostly just the new stuff, but we changed so much stuff year after year. I mean, colleges went in, Road to the Show last year for the first time, so we have to add that. You know, a couple years before that, we had all the minor leaguers go in with minor league teams. You know, we had female players go in for the first time.
You're doing the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs?
Oh yeah. You know, I was just in the, by the way,
I'm not paying enough attention. I love that.
I was in the beautiful Lehigh Valley a couple weeks ago during my birthday weekend. And remember that blizzard? That's where I was. So
that's hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, a baseball hat with just a strip of bacon on it. It doesn't get any better than that. That is a fat kid's dream. Yeah. Love it.
So we, you know, there's constant updates, and then obviously, you know, World Baseball Classic and adding those names. You know, there's always some sort of something to do, right? So so we have a running list, and then, you know, there'll be updates. You know, if we put a name of a player in 7-8 years ago, you know, we're based on limited information at the time, right? There's no PR guy following this guy around. And so when they progress through the minors and get up to the majors, maybe we do a redo because we have more accurate information. So,
sure.
And then plus we have to match the broadcasters as well. So like all the pronunciations for everybody has to be consistent across all voices in the game. So there's a certain level of that also. So no, I mean, the first year was the biggest project, but after that, you know, it's still 8 to 10 hours, maybe more of reading every year to get a new release out. So yeah, it's still a lot of work.
Go ahead, Scotty.
All right. So, yeah. I probably, out of everybody here, I play it by far way more than these guys do, by the way.
You and your brother, you and Uncle Stevie are dorks. Because Stevie would tell me, I'm actually going to see him Saturday. We're going to go whack balls over the pavilion. And he's like, oh yeah, Scotty and I will get online and play each other. I'm like, oh, I'm playing the computer. That's all I'm doing. I'm at 54. I'm not getting online. So some 8th grader in Dover can make fun of me over the headset. Like, I'm not doing that at all.
Right.
At all. Like, hit this old man. Like, nope. But I know you and your brother play incessantly.
We do. I'm a big Diamond Dynasty fan. Like, love that. And one of the things is, like, I think it's so cool, Alex, like when they introduce new legends, like they're bringing in Freddie Lynn. How cool is it from your perspective? Like, and I also have a couple of questions from folks that watch the show, but also Uncle Shane's boys, Chase Mills and Jackson Mills, huge fans of yours, Alex, huge fans of the game. They actually had a couple of questions I'll throw at you in a second. And actually I'll throw one of them out there now, but because their question is like, obviously, how cool is it to hear your voice on the show, like in the game, but also when you get someone like a Freddie Lynn, you get to announce like now batting, you know, how cool is that to be able to think? Does it kind of like give you goosebumps, or does it bring you back to like, this is really, it's a lot of fun when they introduce like new legends like that?
Yeah, I got to say it's somewhat terrifying actually, because it's trying to do that legend justice. Even though it's a virtual legend in the game, it's still Babe Ruth. Okay. Yes. Like, you know, it's, you know, it's still Johnny Pesky. It's still, Yaz. It's still, it's still these guys. And to get it right is almost terrifying in a way, to make sure that they get the deference that they deserve. And yes, it is also cool to put those in the game. When we did the Negro Leagues update, it was awesome. That was one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite projects to do. And yeah, man, I'm a history nut. I'm a history buff. I studied history in college, and so anytime there's anything historical in the game, I geek out a little bit, but I'm also, again, terrified because I need to give it its just due the proper way.
They've done such a good job with the storylines, and like that whole part of the game, storylines is so much fun to go through in the history of that. I totally agree. And I know they're doing another season this year with introducing new Negro League players and stuff. And it's so much fun to kind of hear the history and kind of go through that. I think that
was a huge hit. I mean, we knew it was going to be big, but it really took off, and it got a lot of critical and consumer press and rave reviews, and that was something that anybody who worked on it was super proud of.
Yeah, it's wild. And I know this year they're coming out like the beginning and like early releases tomorrow, or well, I guess end of day tomorrow, whatever, like Friday. Yeah, so I'll be up at midnight playing it for sure. But they're
sorry, it's all my fault. I don't know.
So good. But they're introducing, like, probably the because of the WBC, they're introducing the most cards, the most content, probably to kick off the game ever, which is wild to think about, especially from a Diamond Dynasty perspective for myself and others to but for the WBC, how crazy is it to have to go through all of those rosters? We're talking about 300 players or something. And it's especially, and I was thinking of you going through like some of the Japanese players and the Asian players. I'm like, that's got to be a tough read, man.
It is.
You got to give us your most difficult names.
Oh, it's like a Shi Xuan Shui or someone like that, like a Chinese Taipei, because it's a language and a pronunciation that we are not accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do a lot of that in English, and it was hard enough to learn how to roll my R's, let alone try to speak foreign Asian languages. But the best part about working there is that I have producers around me, and there is somebody that does specific research on the of the pronunciations and how to get them accurate, and he is in my ear basically saying it, and I'm repeating it, especially on some of those hard ones, and I'll say it perfectly, and he goes no, and then he'll say it the way I think I just said it, and I'll say it the same way again. He goes no, emphasis on the she, and I'm like, but I thought I just did that. And he goes, close enough. And I'm like, I don't like when somebody tells me close enough. To me, that's still a no. So I keep going until I get it right, because I don't like doing anything that's like lazy or anglicized, because I can't do it. I will get it right. But
it's also for like the WBC guys, like these are guys that like we've seen like the stories and stuff. Like this guy was a carpenter, but he's on the Australian baseball team or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're hearing this, so that the fact that
was a carpenter, is a carpenter, is building a deck post game. I mean, like he has to go to work.
The guy from Czechia, that's an electrician.
Yeah. Yes, 4,000%. It's so funny. Two things, Alex. First of all, I'm picturing, because you said about 8 hours, and I have to imagine that is not done in one day, right? It's 8 hours net over a course of days, right? Yes, about 8 hours of audio.
Yes.
Cut audio. Yes. So, and then I'm picturing the meme. You know the meme of Ben Affleck standing out in the alley smoking the cigarette with his eyes closed?
Yes.
I'm picturing you just like, oh God, I'm never gonna get this right.
And they're very intense sessions too, because anything that we have to do, we do for home and away, and sometimes neutral also. So even though we say the name one way, I've got to say that same name in a different style, and sometimes it's harder because you from a presentation standpoint, you want to put emphasis on certain syllables, but that also means sometimes they're incorrect. So then my friend, the linguist, will tell me, no, you can't, that's not the way you say it. Like the emphasis is on, but I'm like, it doesn't sound good like that. And it's like, it doesn't matter. That's not how you say his name. And I'm like, I kind of want to strangle you. Good thing you're a friend of mine. You know? So they're very, sometimes they can get, heated's not the right word because we don't ever get mad at each other, but they're intense. You know, we are there to do something as accurately as possible. There are 4 million active players of the show at any given time. So like we have to be correct. There is no other way.
Well, you know? it in this day and age, in the age that everything's litigious and culturally appropriated, and they find out some, blonde hair, tall white kid from Florida is murdering all these names.
Yeah. You're being kind on blonde. That's a lot of that has disappeared too. So, but you know, and so like the we have to stay true to the sport and the game and each of these individual players who contribute to it, whether they're a WBC, a minor leaguer, a creative player who's fake, whatever, like they have to be right. So
I know I've asked you this a million times, and I know you probably run into this, I'd have to guess, once every 9.5 days. You have to meet a Padres fan or a fan of the video game when you're doing events, because you do all these other things connected to the Padres. And I know that you're calling games for college basketball and all that stuff. When people meet you and they get a chance to talk to you and you open your mouth and the sound comes out and they're like, oh, that is your real voice, right? Because
a lot of that is
like, he's got to be like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fenway Park. Like he's got to be putting that on, and then they talk to you, and they must be amazed that those are your pipes. That's happening.
Well, you've known me for almost 30 years now, so that it is what it is. What it is. I mean, that's great. I have one talent. I might as well use it and make money off of it. But yeah, you know what the craziest
I checked with your wife.
Was.
She said yes, it's your one talent. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I believe me. I am well aware. The craziest thing that happened was this year. I also go on tour with Monster Jam, and Monster Jam. We have 6 different tours on at any given time. And I float around I'm kind of a floater. I do some in the East. I do some in the West. Somebody came up to me at one of the pit parties and go, "Hey, Alex, I play MLB The Show." And I was like, whoa, worlds collide. Like, this person saw me on YouTube doing Monster Jam, recognized that I did MLB The Show, and then came to an event to seek me out to tell me that he played MLB The Show and he's a fan of Monster Jam. And I was like, okay, the crossover thing is kind of blowing my mind a little bit, but that's the kind of stuff that's starting to happen right now. If you go to Little League fields, it's not Alex from Padres, it's Alex from MLB The Show. That's what they recognize first. So like, I
love that.
Yeah. So like, it depends on the audience and where you are.
Sure.
And, when I'm in the basketball zone, I don't get a ton of crossover too much. It's more of a oddity. It's like, oh, you do baseball? Oh, yeah, I think I know about that. But
correct.
That Monster Jam, and the reason I know why Monster Jam works is because baseball and Monster Jam are similar audiences, parents and kids, right? And so chances are a lot of those kids also play the game and they come up and whatnot. But it was still kind of a mind-blowing, worlds colliding type thing,
Yeah, that's really interesting. How many years has it been now? Because I keep talking about it. It was years ago in Vegas when you told me, but you're on season what with them now?
Let's see. I started on the 19 release.
Wow.
So math is hard.
7?
So this is like 7. Yeah. So
wow. It feels like longer than that. And the other thing, I was complaining before we got on the air. I'm like, I'm so annoyed. It should be your game. It should be your voice. And obviously you've got 2 colleagues who are on there. To your point, though, it's one of the things that you can go through and select. So rather than people not knowing that it's Alex Miniak, who's the only voice on the game, they actually get to go in and select you.
Yeah, nobody actually watches the credits except for me.
It gives you a little more notoriety, and people are like, "Oh, okay. Oh,
I think
that voice is Alex Miniak," because I think people might not have known that otherwise.
Right. Hey, and Adrian in particular, who I have a professional relationship with, who's one of the other PA voices in the game, is awesome. She does the Orioles. She does a ton of basketball stuff as well. So we swim a lot of the same circles. So it's cool, and it's like, oh yeah, that's That's my coworker over there. Yeah, we work together.
You with the Padres, her with the Orioles, and the other girl.
Yeah.
Who does she?
She's formerly Giants. Formerly
really?
Giants. Yeah.
Really? A little close to home. Wow, she's
two
elbowing in.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. Can they run now with everything being connected, with PlayStation and Xbox being connected? Do they run metadata? Do they know who gets selected the most? Am I going to start a fight?
Oh, I'm sure. That would be a. Yeah, maybe it's a question I don't want to know the answer to.
I'm not your agent, but when your contract comes up, that would be a good.
Oh, you get NIL money every time they.
That would be good. Yes.
Select Alex.
I prefer the big numbers. The one I quoted earlier, the 4 million active players. That's a good one. That's a good line.
Crazy. So. That's crazy.
I'm one of them.
And NIL for Rubber Shoes stands for not instantly liked.
Without Scotty, it would be 3,999,999. Yeah, and without his brother, 98. Right. But thank you. So thank you for taking us over the 4.
Uncle Stevie in there too, for sure. Absolutely. So let's actually let's get into the baseball stuff. Talk to us about where the Padres are at. You feel like they're in a better position than the Red Sox, or?
Well, I think we got to, Fangraphs positioned us for 4th and predicted we win 78 games, which I think is total. I don't know what stats they're pulling from. The data nerds over there in my book are getting it wrong. And that's just not me being a good employee or anything like that. It's the fact that I just think the team has more depth this year than last year. You get Nick Castellanos for league minimum, who's a $20 million player. That's a nice addition. One of the things we lacked last year was any kind of outfield depth. We had to put Gavin Sheets in left. He had never played any outfield before. And like when kids go out and play, outfield for the first time, they put their arms up like this when the ball's coming at them. That was Gavin Sheets for about the first couple of weeks he was playing out there. And then he turned into some respectable numbers as he understood, playing left field at Petco Park. But, now we have people who can fill these positions, and we're not relying on guys who are out of position to try to fill spots. So I think that's a big one. You look at the rotation, it has to stay healthy. And Nick Pivetta came off a career year last year. Can he keep that up? That's a question mark. Joe Musgrove
we'll
coming
answer
back.
That out here for you. That's a no.
Yeah, I understand. That was not.
He had one of those seasons for us too.
Yeah, I know, and so I wasn't leaving that one open ended for you, but and Joe Musgrove.
Jackson Merrill was hurt a bunch last year, wasn't he? So
he was hurt a bunch, so he has to be able to stay healthy. He went through the sophomore slump last year. Can Tatis stay healthy? Manny is a gamer, but he gets ailments that kind of bug him throughout the course of the season. He plays through them because he's an Iron Man. But if he has a wrist injury or something, it's going to take power away. So it's about staying healthy and having the depth that we didn't have last year. And I think there's a lot more depth this year than there was last year. So, we won 90 games last year and Fangraphs says 78 or whatever. I'm like, split the difference. That still gets you in the playoffs. And that's fine with me. So
Fangraphs said that the Red Sox have no players projected to hit over 20 home runs. And last year they had Story and I think Abreu both hit over 20 last year. And you're going to have Anthony with a full season. Duran has been close. Like the fan
Contreras.
I'm not a fan of analytics.
No, well, and Duran is a player that I know the Padres had their eye on last year to bring over to fill that left field spot. So we got Laureano, but like data's only good as the argument you want to make with it in my book. So I learned this from ratings data, Timmy, and it's like I'm number one Sunday mornings from 6A to 10A with men 24 to 26, and So like it's whatever picture you want to paint. So it is what it is. I think data helps to prove a story. It doesn't tell the whole story. It's supporting it, it's not the story. So
it doesn't take the human element in effect. No. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I like data. I like breaking it down. I like to see as an analyst. I like to be able to look at it and see what's possible. But it certainly, it helps a keys to the game moment, or it helps, seeing who's on a hot streak or whatever. But as far as using it for straight predictability, it's, it is what it is.
When you got started, if I'm guessing correctly, I think we're going to see a post from you that says you were in season 12 now. Are you season 12 with the Padres coming up?
13.
It was 12, 13 this year. Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And kudos to all of your hard work, and the Padres are lucky to have you. When you first got started, I have to imagine the anxiety was like, because it's not like you're sitting, on the foul line without any net back in the 80s. Like, I hope I don't take a ball to the face, but like, you have to be like, I can't miss anything. Like, and now you must be so comfortable with the cadence. Do you get so comfortable that you're afraid you might miss something because you're up there? You've got such a great relationship with the guys surrounding you. Like, have you caught yourself on occasion over the past 12 years that you've gotten so comfortable you almost missed something? Not that you're doing play-by-play, but you have to be ready for the walk-up and this and that and all the other announcements going on.
I would have to say that there's been late nights, and sure, it wears on you, especially when you do 81 of them at home. But
you don't have any rain delays in San Diego.
No, we have one every 6 years.
Taco bikini son of a bitch. Yeah. Like you never have a snow game.
Yeah,
you're just rolling.
If there was any kind of anxiety, and I didn't even know I had anxiety until this kind of cropped up, was the pressure of performing to expectations when I was hired. They put a lot on you. It was very public. And then having to live up to those expectations and traveling, because a lot of people don't know that first year I went back and forth. So like, I got the job on April 20th. The season had already started. And so like, I had to fly from New Hampshire to San Diego for every homestand and then back. And so that sounds crazy now, but then you look at my Monster Jam schedule, and
dude,
that's nothing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So there was that pressure. There was the pressure of having an existing job, the pressure of dealing with a home and how am I going to move this, the pressure of getting out there.
Oh my God.
And then talking to 40,000 people. And so like, I didn't understand what anxiety was until then. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what heart palpitations were. I didn't know what stress what panic attacks were, and what stress could do to you. And I actually had to go see a doctor a few times to kind of dial it in and figure out what it was and how to channel that energy in a better way. And so, and you're right, that comfort level really helps when you have a supportive cast around you that has your back and you have their back as well. That takes a lot of it out of it. But that was if there was a big adjustment, it wasn't I didn't know I could do the job. I just didn't know if I could do the job with everything that was going on at the same time. That was really the hardest part, was navigating that and being able to balance all those expectations, because it was a lot. And then you felt as though, well, everybody's made such a big deal about this, and rightfully so. I can't back out. Like I'm in it, so we got to figure this out, And so,
like suddenly call the Padres. You're like, I don't want to be a Pirate. Like, no, you signed up for this, stupid.
You signed up for it.
I Padre, but that's my.
You made this a big dang deal, and here you are. Yeah,
you have to wear the the fluffy shirt.
Yeah, and by the way, there was never any anything in the back of my mind said no, you can't do this. But it was just being able to manage that workload and the social pressure of it, and the press and the media and social media and. Oof, it was a lot, man. And I'm glad I got through it. And it was a big learning lesson. And now I use that to that confidence to help me get into other areas. I just did basketball analyst for the first time this year.
That's
on
awesome.
ESPN Plus. And
that's
so
awesome.
And that's because I've done basketball for so long, and I'm like, why am I not doing it on that side of the court? What is the confidence that's telling, what is telling me I can't? Nobody's not telling, it's just me. Right. I just have to make the leap and walk across, and I did.
Yeah.
So
good for you. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about monster trucks.
I mean, I mean, it's a dream sequence now, because you're San Diego, like I just said, beautiful part of the country. You are doing what, like, every kid at some point was like, wouldn't that be cool? And you get to do that every day. And then it also threw you in a zip code where you met your lovely wife. Like, a lot of really good things happened with all of that clicking together, which is really cool.
I think you just kind of have to believe, like I went through some tough times back east, and you guys, being my friends, helped me navigate a lot of that. And I thought when I moved to New England I'd be there 2-3 years, and then I would then the big blue Clear Channel would send me someplace else, and 14 years later I was still there. And albeit not with Clear Channel but other jobs. But in order to move forward with my life, I had to I was a low risk guy. I was risk averse. I had to be able to take the risk and the flyer, and it's worked out in that it's hard work and believing in yourself, and it ain't perfect, man. Every day's a struggle. I'm still scheduling stuff. I have a corporate event tomorrow, like there's always something, but so.
But you get to play in the space you want to be in, which is super cool.
Correct. And I get to dictate that space, which is huge.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
To kind of follow up on Timmy's question on, have you ever, got sidetracked and stuff? Now with the pitch clock, does that keep you more focused because you have?
Yes,
it's a quicker in between batters and innings and stuff like that. So it's a lot quicker.
What I love about the other sports that I've worked, and I've worked hockey, but I've worked basketball longer than I've worked baseball, and it's the rhythm of the game, the pace and the flow of the game, at least until all the fouls start happening at the end. But it's basket, timeout, basket, timeout. In baseball, it was like, walk around the mounds. Maybe I'll adjust the gloves. And then it's like, so you go into an inning break and you're like, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Like now that rhythm is there, and the rhythm makes it enjoyable. It's like a clock. It's just like tick tock, tick tock. It's a beat.
Yeah.
So like, I came from music radio. So like anything that's musical or has any kind of rhythm or beat to it, I like. And that has made a huge difference in terms of just presentation in general, not just keeping me awake and focused. It's just,
it's a much better game now. It's incredible how much better it is.
It's been a huge improvement for sure. I need you to give us your top 3 Latin pronunciations, unless you,
okay.
Feel free to go Pacific Rim, but I want to hear Tatis. I want Machado. Like, give me, and I don't need you to pronounce it like we're having a quiet dinner in a restaurant. Like, I want you. Give me Petco Park opening day. The whole the fandom is lubed up. Give it to me.
Boy, that's a picture. That is a picture. Well, it'd be a Fernando Tatis Jr. And then you'd be like a Manny Machado, So
who's your other favorite?
I'm looking at my bobblehead wall right now.
Oh, so spoiled.
See.
I mean, what was the one time you murdered one and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a visit? Like, did you ever? Or I mean, obviously you might not have been thrilled with.
You're cursing. You're putting a hex on me. Now I got to knock on the wood.
I am not. I am not. I love you. Go ahead.
No. It's not home. It's like away. Like a guy. Let's say a guy gets called up.
Oh yeah, the people you don't say all the time. Yeah.
Or they get called up that day, making their debut, and you go to media relations. And they don't even know, and you're like, Steve, I'm gonna
number 7.
Yeah, and then there's a question mark at the end, like I'm Ron Burgundy, like is that?
Yeah.
Hell, at least you don't have to do spring training.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's kind of funny because you're just like, and then like I go to video a lot. Like if I don't know there's a pronunciation guide. But when you get after something like the trade deadline, you might as well throw the pronunciation guide out the window because you can't. They're organized by team. So like if some guy gets waived or he gets traded or they're so what I really do is I go to video a lot and I try to find any calls I can find. Now, granted, those aren't perfect either because those guys are working off the same information that probably
and it could be some Barney who's not a pro like you, and they're just like, Jimmy, like
not at all. So you do the best with the tools that you're given. It's a rare occurrence, and sometimes there's been a hard name or something, and it's I'll get them the next time, I guess. Whoops,
Yep.
it happens. I don't know. It's live. things always happen. It's how you react, not how you know.
Have you ever had a player, like after you've done 30 games, pronouncing a player's name a certain way, and then them come to you and say, "Oh no, it's actually pronounced like this"?
In the minor leagues, yes, because if they come from, that let's say they're foreign born, they come, English is not their first language, and so like he scribbles down how it's pronounced and then hands it to the press or PR team, and then the clubby comes up and says, "No, it's pronounced this way." That's kind of one of those things. So in the minors, it's actually, I wouldn't quite common's not, but it's more common than you think because it's just so hard to get information. And then you have language barriers and geographical barriers, and you don't have the level of staffing that you have at a major league level too. So there's that. And no media coverage really, besides, what you get on, minor league baseball.tv or whatever it is. So,
minor league baseball.tv.
I don't know, whatever it is.
That makes sense.
No, that's an actual
it's msmallilb.com or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah,
You typed it in.
I got you. Yes, I got you. Yes. Yep. Incredible. We've got the
I did
World
have,
Baseball Classic going on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Scotty.
That's
Scotty.
That's all right. I just from Chase and Jackson wanted to also ask about, since you've you're talking about like when you first started and some of the anxiety and stuff, but when you got to actually like settle in, was there a favorite player that you were able to meet, and did it change after you met them? Did it change kind of the way you looked at them for better or worse after you met them? That's from the military.
What's funny is that I don't, unless we go out and do a community event, I don't interact with players too often, at least current ones. They kind of have their own world and we have our own world. We're separated by 3 or 4 floors, and I don't really hang out in the clubhouse, so I see them in the hallway and it's like a nod or a hey, but where that's really impacted and is really cool is alumni or players that I used to watch as a kid that have become broadcasters or are coaches or something, washing your hands next to Keith Hernandez. You're like, oh my God. Like,
second spitter.
I grew, the second spitter,
That's
right?
one magic loogie.
Yeah. So should I ask him how it's going with Elaine, or should I say
it out? Yes.
Yeah. Or should I ask what he thought of today's game? Should I ask him what it was like for playing for my favorite team of all time, the '86 Mets? Sorry.
Oh God.
But you knew this already. But it's like, does fanboy 8-year-old, 9-year-old Alex come out, or does professional suit and tie? Let's keep this on the up and up, Alex. Kind of. Some people are super cool. Like when Nomar was in town and he was doing an LA game, I'm like, I got to go up to him and go, Noma. And I totally did that. And he was he was super cool, just one of those guys. And
That's
I told
awesome.
him kind of my backstory and everything. And he's like, great. It's one of my favorite pictures that I have with an athlete. And then, like some of these guys that are alumni of our team, like Trevor Hoffman and I go to military softball games where we play military all-star game teams, and he's a pitcher, and I'll go, and it's sort of like an event where I'll announce the batters and also do like play-by-play for the families that are in attendance and stuff like that. And I'll rag on our players. And I'm like, they call this guy a Hall of Famer, and the guys just take it in jest, and it's so fun. And these are guys that have played on World Series teams. And again, I have their cards, I watched them growing up. And so I would say, like, and this was true in radio, that 99% of any performer or talent that I've ever met has always been super cool. It's very, very rare for me to have a negative encounter, because most times they're just people like us, and they're just like, thanks for being human and just recognizing me as a dude, or someone. So I think it's really cool from growing up and then working next to your idols, more or less.
Well,
so cool.
You and Padres Nation are lucky enough to have Orsillo, and I know obviously you've got a great relationship with him. From a play-by-play standpoint or from a PA standpoint, but probably play-by-play, who's the person that you've met since you've been in your role with the Padres that you're like, I can't believe I'm getting this picture taken. I can't believe I'm shaking his hand. I can't believe I'm exchanging sentences with this person. I mean,
number one, it would be Vin Scully, without a doubt.
I knew that. I was hoping you were going to say that. Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that picture. I'm like, you're such a bastard. That's awesome.
And I've met a lot of legends. You know, Dick Enberg was our broadcaster before Don, and I got to meet Dick in his final years as a broadcaster, and some of the, you know, there are as you know, Timmy, there are broadcasters and there are absolute legends, and they don't make the legends like they used to. There are great broadcasters today, but like when Enberg and Vin Scully, that was it. That's all there was. You know what I mean? And so the Vin Scully story is funny because that happened my first year. And my first year, I had my own separate booth, which I didn't really like. I wasn't with everybody. I like being in the room. I like being amongst the chaos. I like people throwing things across, you know, and shouting. And I like being on the floor of the stock exchange better during an event. You know, like when you're basketball, you're on the floor, you're courtside. Things are happening around you, and I didn't like being kind of sequestered. But anyway, Vin came into my room and he's like, you know, hello, can I use your room to make a phone call? You know, and I'm like,
so amazing.
What do you say? No, like, you know what I'm, you know,
yeah. Mr. Scully, can I hold the phone for you? Like, yeah, whatever you need.
You want me to fan you while you sit in the chair? You know, like, so like that's a surreal moment. And of course, he's, you know, no longer with us and everything. But man, it's some of that. I mean, not just being a fan of players who have become broadcasters, but broadcasters who we grew up hearing their voices. And we were radio dorks long before we ever became sports dorks, at least me. And so like that to me is something special. And so, yeah. And I love Don. I work a lot of events with Don. I see Don every day. Don is down to earth as you can imagine. And he's funny. He's quirky. It's hilarious.
So good.
Yeah.
Canada just knocked out Cuba.
He's
Canada just knocked out
he's
Cuba.
Scoreboard watching.
Yep. Is that what's happening? I didn't know what's it.
Yes.
Alex, did you get a chance to meet Tony Gwynn before he passed away?
Unfortunately, no. So I was hired in April, and he died 2 months later. So our paths did not cross because he was ill at the time. That one will always be a tough one, and that will be the toughest game I ever worked. Will be the first game that he back after he passed, and it was like calling a game at church. It was silence, and we won that game, and people were like afraid to clap out of disrespect. And you want to talk about pressure, and you want to talk about anxiety and wanting to get the moment right and doing right by Mr. Padre and the absolute legend. He will always be Mr. Padre. And in that moment, that was one of the toughest things I've ever done. Probably my toughest day of work ever, and will always be my toughest day of work ever because of that. And because, again, I was a fan, you know, like growing up on the East Coast, you didn't see a lot of Tony Gwynn games. They were late. They didn't make it to the paper. But I had his cards, and you had the cards, and you read all the stuff that he did, batting champion, silver sluggers, and you're like, wow, I'd love to see this guy play, but you know, we don't have TV. They didn't have MLB.TV. So
here we go. He might get called. This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, it's good. Walker Street is okay.
So it's crazy how much Tony Gwynn Jr. sounds like Tony Gwynn.
He sounds exactly like his father.
Oh my God.
Exactly
like every time I'll listen to games on the MLB.com and the radios through there, and I hear his broadcast, and I'm like, every time I listen, I'm like, I can't believe how much he sounds like his dad. It's freaking crazy. And he sounds like he's as nice a guy as his dad was known to be.
Yeah, here's a crazy story real quick. So he brought his son into the control room, and I was sitting there, and I think it was like a Sunday morning or something. And he's like, Alex, this is my son. He wanted to meet you because he plays MLB The Show. And so I'm like,
love that. I love that.
So I said, what's up, little man? And I said his name for him and everything. And it was like this surreal moment, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We do have MLB The Show. I believe early release, to Scotty's point, is Friday the 13th. The 6th anniversary of COVID, right? Friday the 13th. It was 6 years ago. Friday the 13th is when the world shut down. For the most
I was
part.
at the spring training game that got shut down in the 7th inning, and it was
here in the States, it was this coming Friday 6 years ago. Then St. Patrick's Day is the wide release for the game, available on all of the consoles. Alex, thanks for hanging out, buddy. We're looking forward to seeing you again, and maybe next season. Maybe if we're on your dance card, if we don't get you next season, we'll get you the year after that. When you'll be 9 years into the show and 15 years into the Padres.
Yeah, I need to make a visit back to New England. It's a long
maybe the Sox play the Padres in the World Series this year.
Oh my God,
that'd be amazing.
Oh my God,
I love that.
That would be
amazing.
That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. For Alex, our dear friend from the Padres and MLB The Show, for Rubber Shoes, Uncle Dukes, and myself, thanks for hanging out. You can reach us at atbshow.com. We're brought to you by our dear friends Joe and Leslie and the whole crew over at AAA Work Trucks. Again, this Friday for early release, and then St. Patrick's Day for wide release. MLB The Show 26. Scotty, you're PlayStation 5? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. He's like, yes, of course. PlayStation 5,
absolutely.
of course.
I got to be on there to play Stevie and the Chase boy, Chase and Jackson. By the way, those are two names you're gonna have to start saying as well. They're easy though. Chase Mills, Jackson Mills, Alex. Those are easy names.
We'll have Alex do a read for
future MLB players. Trust me, those kids are
okay. I'm on it.
There it is. Rubber Shoes, settle down for God's sakes. We'll see you next week.